Hi, welcome to Black Forest Comics Weekly Review Episode 4, where we review comics and comic-related geeky type stuff. So this week we have several comics that we're going to go through, and then we're going to go on to the news. First comic we're going to look at this week is Age of Apocalypse issue number 2. Now if you read the first one, this is a tie-in to the Secret Wars Battle World storyline that Marvel's putting out right now. Again, any Marvel stuff that we have is going to all be tied into that Secret Wars Battle World for the next month and a half, maybe. So this one is about, in issue 1, it left off where the X-Men were fighting a team of Apocalypse's horsemen, and so that's where it picks up at. And it's good. They get captured. Half of them get captured. Half of them retrieve this boy that the horsemen had, and they're going to use him to help the horsemen see that Apocalypse is bad. It's a lot better than the upcoming version of Apocalypse on the movies. Second one, Red Sonja Conan number 1. Now this one's pretty amazing. It takes place where there's a huge battle going on, and they're needing a whole bunch of they're getting all these armies together to create one large army, and they're making the generals of each army fight to see who's going to be the main general for all these armies. Red Sonja and Conan are both heads of different armies, and they see each other and like, let's not fight, let's join together. And they say, this Red Sonja Conan army shall lead, and the other generals are like, no, we're going to fight. And so Red Sonja and Conan kill the rest of the generals, and they take over. And it's pretty interesting. The rest of the comic is them partaking in drinks afterwards of their victory and plotting what they're going to do to fight the army that they're planning to invade. So that's a good one. You got to check it out by Dynamite Comics. Also, Dynamite Comics is coming out with, let me show you the picture. Grumpy Cat the Comic. Can you see that right there? Grumpy Cat the Comic. Yeah, that's coming out. Also, got to give it up to Dynamite. They're also coming out with Voltron from the Ashes, written by Colin Bunn. I don't know if you know who Colin Bunn is. He worked on Deadpool, worked on Sinestro. He also worked on Harrow County and a couple of other things. I love a lot of his work, so check that one out. It's going to be Voltron from the Ashes, coming out in September. Alright, our third comic for the night is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classic Color Series, issue number 8. This was taking off Splinter's still trapped, and Splinter's, it's revealed at the very end of this comic that Splinter's being kept by the Rat King. And of course, Casey Jones is off with Gabe, and he proposed to her, and she's pregnant and having a baby. Yeah, it's very cute. And April O'Neil's going on a date with this guy that turns out to be a douchebag, so she throws her coffee on him. It's interesting. It's entertaining. You got to pick it up. Raphael and Leonardo and Michelangelo Donatello, they're deciding to go on a rooftop stroll on a run that they hadn't been on in a while. They're beginning to get very cabin feverish as they're sitting in this New York during the winter in a hotel room or in an apartment, just cramped up in there. So they decide to go on a run in the at the nighttime, and Raphael, being Raphael, decides to break away from them and fights one of Shredder's elite guards. And he's telling Raphael, after Raphael defeats him, stabs him with the scythe right into his gut. He's all laying there bleeding, and the Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo come and they find him, and the lead guard saying, you killed my leader, and he decides to go ahead and finish himself off. It's very interesting. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics Volume 3, those are a good comic series that's out right now. It's completely different from the several other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are out right now. Even the one where Donatello was killed. This one is more, I guess, more adult themed. I enjoy it. I really like it. First issue, Casey Jones killed someone, right? Okay, next issue, Bloodshot Reborn, issue number 5. This takes up where Bloodshot's still getting some of the nanites. There's 4 people left that he needs to go get the nanites from, and he started to trip. he's starting to trip out, and Bloodsquirt appears before him and is trying to convince him to kill the girl that's with him. So he overcomes Bloodsquirt, tells him he's nothing but a figment of his imagination. Some nanites trying to mess with his mind. And yeah, so he fights it off. He gives the girl the folder that has all of his information, who he was, that he hasn't been able to read. And he tells her to read it. And so she read it, and she knows who he is. And she doesn't tell him because he asks her not to tell him. So it's still a mystery to him, but she knows, and he's confident in the fact that someone knows who he is. Maybe one day he'll ask her, maybe not. We read The Death of Bloodshot, and we know he's going to die eventually. So, yeah, that happens. Next comic, Savage Dragon number 205. If you've been reading Savage Dragon, you know this is just a big love triangle, square, octagon, tetrahedral type of deal. This is what it's turning into. It's turning into a big drama. You know, he's got like 3 people pregnant at the same time. It's crazy, crazy. One of them is his stepsister. What? Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. It's fun though. It's still fun. It's still Savage Dragon. He's still fighting. He's beating up at the high school prom. He's beating up the abomination-looking dude. And another funny thing is, as him and his girlfriend are doing some rock climbing, they're referring to superheroes fighting their like doppelganger type people. Like Hulk has the Abomination to fight. Iron Man fights the Ironmonger. Superman has General Zod. And Savage Dragon goes on to say, what about Batman? Batman didn't have an evil twin. But they're saying, yeah, he's got armor, and it's stupid. He can't fight in armor. Can you really fight in all that armor? Okay, next one. Oops, sorry. Mad Max Fury Road number 2. This is going to conclude the Mad Max storyline. The ending is very much true to the original Mad Max movie, where the girl that saved him, she convinces him to go save her daughter in this one. So she saves him at the very end from dying for those raiders that took his vehicle that he had just got that motor for. He won it in his Thunderdome battle. And so he hooked up his car. He had it ready to go almost, and these raiders came, beat him up, left him for dead, took the car. She found him, healed him up, and took him to go get the car and her daughter as part of the deal. So he did that. He saved them, and in the last couple of pages, sad, sad, sad indeed. So if I don't want to ruin it for you, if you like a good page turner. Now the very last couple of panels though, it almost feels like they're trying to force feed you a message. I don't know, check it out, see what you think about it yourself. And then finally for our kids comic, My Little Pony Friends Forever. Now you're saying, why did I pick My Little Pony? It's got some interesting times to it. This one is, there's a wedding, and Rarity helped do some of the wedding organization, and Mr. and Mrs. Cupcake made the wedding cake. And so Rarity, in all of her I want to be the boss wisdom, tells Mr. and Mrs. Cupcake, let's work together and make this wedding party thing in all of Equestrian look like nothing's ever been seen before. So they have a wedding organizer business is what they're going to have going on, them two together, the cakes and then her organizing. And it turns out to Rarity just trying to run everybody, trying to run their cake business, trying to run everything, trying to run the bride and the groom, their first clients, trying to tell them what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. She ends up almost killing her client because the client asked for a certain kind of cake. Rarity says, no, you're going to get this one because it matches your dress. And she's allergic to the strawberries that she gives her, and she almost kills her. And again, it's My Little Pony, so in the end, everything turns out okay. You're going to learn a lesson. Maybe not, because it's Rarity. Sometimes you just want to slap the pony. Anywho, moving on. So that concludes our comics for this week. Now we're going to talk, or last week, now we're going to talk about the comics coming up this week. First one's going to be Tank Girl number 3. Not really going to talk too much about that. Action Comics number 43 is coming up. Action Comics number 42 left off with Superman protecting the people of his neighborhood from the police that were going to come and beat them up for supporting Superman. And then he came, chains tied up, said, no, you're not going to get to them. It was a great comic. It was a great panel. It looked great. The visual work of it was awesome. Next one coming up, All-Star Section 8. Number 3 of 6. If you don't know what the All-Stars Section 8 are, it's a B, not even a B grade team. It's like a F grade team of superheroes that is led by a character named Six Pack, whose power is to drink and belch and throw up on people because he's an alcoholic. It also includes Dogface Welder, who his name is his power. He welds dogs onto your face. The end. So yeah, it has characters like that in his team, and he's been trying to recruit a mainstream superhero. First issue, he tried to recruit Batman, ended up getting Batman's car towed away. Second issue, he tried to recruit Green Lantern, who ended up just having a drama queen fit and ran off at the very end. So in this issue, I guess we're going to find out who he tries to recruit for the third time. All right, next issue coming up this Wednesday is Amazing Spider-Man number 20.1. Now these 20 or 19.1s or 18.1s, they always have their own story arc. They're trying to tie into Peter Parker's past. So I haven't read too far into that one. More than likely that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a tie into his past. Next one, it's a new comic series coming out called Archon. It's set in Las Vegas, 1981, and what it is a single dad working security. I know it sounds just like Night at the Museum. It's a single dad working security at a casino where it's fantasy themed. So you got all these actors dressed up as elves and orcs and dragons. It turns out that as this security arc comes to learn that they're not actors. They are real elves, they're real orcs, they're real imps, they're real fairies, they're real dragons that live in this hotel. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to read. Again, if you've been watching any of our episodes, you know that I like the whole fantasy thing, like D&D type stuff. I'm going to read this comic. Alright, so next coming up, Batman number 43. Where we left off in number 42, Jim Gordon was approaching Bruce Wayne in the pantry saying, "I'm Batman and I have some questions for you." So let's see where it goes from there. It's going to be interesting to see what the conversation between those two is. Next, Batman Superman number 23. Last time Superman left off talking to Alfred, wasn't convinced what Alfred was saying, that Batman is dead. Kind of knew that Batman's still alive. Took the Batmobile, painted it red and blue because remember he doesn't have his powers, he can't fly anymore. So he took one of the Bat Cycles, painted it red and blue, made it the Super Cycle. It's pretty amazing. They should make a toy of it. So that's Batman number 43 coming out, or Batman Superman number 23 coming out this Wednesday. Next one's another new series coming out called Beauty, and this is going to be issue number 1. It's written and drawn by artist Jeremy Hahn. I might be saying it wrong, but he also does Constantine and Batwoman. And the way this one is written is kind of about, it's all about superficial beauty. How people are striving to be more and more beautiful, and how beauty is passed along almost in an STD type fashion. And some detectives are finding out, because everyone wants to be this beautiful person, and a couple of detectives are finding out that this is actually painful and there's some repercussions to doing it. Constantine Hellblazer number 3 is coming out. Issue number 2, someone was murdering ghosts, so they're trying to find out who it is. Constantine doesn't have a lot of friends. The ghosts are his friends. His friends start dying, and they're already dead. So his friends die twice, so it's really sad for him. Next, also coming out, DC Comics Bombshell number 1. First issue coming out. It's going to be women in World War II, superwomen of World War II winning the war. It's going to have Batwoman, Wonder Woman, some other woman, superpowered women fighting the war of World War II and winning it without any men's assistance. Drifter number 7 by Image Comics is coming out. Harrow County number 4, another Colin Bunn, is going to be coming out. Gotham Academy number 9, Green Arrow number 43, Hero Cats number 7, Howard the Duck number 5. For all you Howard the Duck fans, this might be his last comic until they do the reboot with Howard Duck number 1 again. Justice League's Gods and Monsters number 1 of 3 is coming out. if you've been watching these, you know that I'm sold on Justice League Gods and Monsters. We got to see the movie already. It's an amazing movie. I love the idea behind it. It's completely off kilter from the regular multiverse of DC. They didn't want to tie it into the Convergence storyline, so they waited till the Convergence. They waited till the reboot before they released this movie and these series. So it's an amazing storyline. If you haven't read any of the Justice League Gods and Monsters storylines, please read them. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie. It's going to impress you. One way or another, whether you like it or not, it's going to impress you. Justice League United number 12 is coming out. Max Ride First Flight, it's put out by Marvel. They had a novel on that. That one came out, and then Marvel's doing a comic book series of it. Issue number 5. This is the last issue for it. It's coming out this Wednesday. Mortal Kombat X number 9 is coming out. New Suicide Squad number 11. Planet Hulk number 4, another tie-in to the Battle World Secret Wars, is coming out. Red Hood Arsenal number 3. Secret Wars number 5. This is of 8. We're almost to the end here. This is number 5 of 8. Last issue at the very end, he killed Doctor Strange, so it's who knows what's going to happen. Secret Wars 29.9 number 4 of 5 is coming out. Secret Wars Battle World number 4 of 4. It's the last issue for the Secret Wars Battle World, but don't worry, there's like 12 other Battle World Secret Wars titles coming out. Star Trek Green Lantern, it's just too much sometimes. Star Trek Green Lantern number 2 is coming out. Here's one that I'm looking forward to. Star Wars Lando number 2 is coming out this Wednesday. Lastly, The Walking Dead number 145 is coming out this Wednesday. So that's just a few of the comics that are coming out this Wednesday. Check in your local comic book shop. There's a lot of awesome things coming out. So we're past that. Moving on. We don't have a lot of news. We were at Texas Comic Con all this weekend, so during the week we were just preparing for that. So we didn't get to see a lot of news, get a lot of news for you. So I have a question. The new Thanos versus Deadpool comic is coming out. If you know me, if you've been to the shop before, you know I'm a big Thanos fan. I love Thanos. It was one of the first comics we sold when we opened up the shop at Black Forest Comics. Now here's my question to you, and I'd like to hear your responses. Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet, and if you've read some of his comics like Thanos Rising and The Return of Thanos and all these different things, you see that he's traveled it throughout time and throughout realities during this one time that he had the gauntlet. And so he's seen the future, he's seen the past, he's seen the end, he's seen the beginning. He's seen it all. So my question to you is Thanos a good guy now? Is he still portraying a bad guy because he knows he has to do certain things so that in the end the good guys can win? Almost like the Sinestro type syndrome, where Sinestro is being so evil in his Yellow Lantern ways just so Hal Jordan can be a better Green Lantern. Is Thanos being the most Thanos way he can be just so the Marvel Universe can do a better job of having better heroes? Think about it. Let us know what you think. And thanks again for watching and listening. We'll see y'all next time.